Meet Harold Perelson, a surgeon who had made quite the name for himself. He was doing so well that he probably had a solid gold scalpel and a plush office chair made from the finest leather. But being a successful surgeon raises the question, was the pressure of saving lives weighing on him like a 100-pound patient in need of immediate surgery? We may never know. Now, let's talk about the night of the murder, surprisingly typical for the family. It's one of those just another day in suburbia vibes before the horror show kicked in. Normal family evenings shouldn't end with sirens and chaos, right? It's like ordering a pizza only to find out it's topped with chaos instead of pepperoni. In the aftermath, the kids bolted faster than a cat from a bath, changing their identities like they were in a spy movie. This dramatic escape shows how deeply the trauma cut, like a bad haircut, it sticks with you long after the scissors go away. Now, let's get literary. Wayne was deep into Dante's Divine Comedy before his untimely demise. Because when you're contemplating your life choices, what better companion than a classic work discussing sin and morality? It's like taking a pop quiz about your existence. Talk about pressure. Suspicion swiftly swooped in on Wayne's previous boss, Ed Gall. Their relationship wasn't exactly a heartfelt buddy movie, it was more of a thriller with a twist. The history of their conflicts had people wondering if Ed was more involved than just providing bad coffee in the break room. The investigation revealed that Wayne was part of a promising business venture, but you know what they say, one man's profitable dream is another man's reason to be jealous. It's like playing Monopoly, and someone lands on Boardwalk and you've got just the orange properties, an envy-fueled recipe for disaster. Lacey Peterson's last known moments included a visit to her sister's salon. Meanwhile, Scott, her husband, was cooler than a polar bear in sunglasses about his wife's absence. It's like the calm before the storm that no one expected to hit them, turning a family visit into a crime scene. Scott thought he could charm his way through with a PR campaign that quite frankly, felt like a bad soap opera. And let me tell you, his calm demeanor just increased the cops' suspicious radar, because if you can stay cool during chaos, something's up. Despite extensive searches, Lacey's fate was hanging in the balance until her body and that of her unborn child were discovered. The entire community was left in shock, like stepping on a Lego in the dark. It stung, and they wished they could take it all back. And speaking of celebrations, the excitement of returning to the office with Secret Santa and a Christmas sweater competition was like a scene from a movie, only with less drama and more ugly Christmas attire. But oh boy, did the spirit of festive fun turn sour quicker than milk left out on a hot summer day. As the party progressed, substance abuse reared its ugly head, with partygoers sneaking in more than just their holiday hats. This alarming trend had the community buzzing. Don't worry, it was not the sound of jingle bells, but rather a wake-up call about the impact of stress and isolation. The climax of this wild night hit hard, as many partygoers faced medical emergencies due to their shenanigans. It was like the worst team-building exercise gone wrong. Sure, bystanders jumped in to help, and training may have saved a life, but the scars of that night were not going away with a band-aid. The emotional impact on the community was profound. Residents grappled with fright about violence involving children. Fear spread like a bad rumor at school, and parents were left clutching their kids a little tighter, turning family movie night into a thriller. This case highlighted the grim reality of youth violence, raising serious questions about what society is dishing out, and no, not the good kind of dish like chocolate cake. Discussions around juvenile justice sparked, especially after the sentencing of a 13-year-old boy. Who knew kids could stir up such massive conversations? The community responded by holding memorials and ceremonies to honor the victim, showcasing collective grief like a high school reunion nobody wanted to attend. The events aimed at unity were like glue, trying to piece together the broken hearts left in the wake of tragedy. The initial excitement of finding a Christmas tree quickly morphed into a nightmare, with unforeseen dangers lurking. Their holiday adventure turned into a horror flick, reminding us that sometimes holiday traditions can come with a side of unexpected anxiety. In the midst of holiday chaos, the father's love and quick thinking shone like a superhero on a mission. His actions highlighted just how important familial bonds are when things go south, because let's face it, no one wants to be saving the day in a Christmas sweater. Post-traumatic incident, the family decided to change their Christmas tradition to something altogether safer. They thought, why not swap out hanging ornaments for hanging out at home with hot cocoa? Trauma has a way of flipping your family traditions upside down, doesn't it? Now, let's talk about the father's choices and how they impacted the child's safety, like a bad magic trick gone wrong. The kid ended up alone with someone dangerous because of dad's poor decisions. It's enough to make any parent cringe. The psychological effects of the traumatic incident were like a surprise guest who just wouldn't leave. Long after the event, the shadows of childhood trauma loomed large. Talk about emotional baggage. Someone needs a bigger suitcase. The relationship between the speaker and their mother blossomed even in adversity, showcasing resilience like a flower growing through concrete. Mom's unwavering support was like a warm blanket of love wrapped around a child facing stormy weather. But hold your horses. The prosecution leaned on doctors who had never even met Elma during her autopsy. It's like asking a dentist for advice on car repairs. The logic just doesn't add up, right? Their testimonies were as shaky as a tightrope walker in a windstorm. Richard Croucher, initially all in for the prosecution, revealed some pretty damaging info about himself during cross-examination. It was like watching a reality show unfold, shifting all suspicion away from Levi Weeks faster than you can say plot twist. Despite being found not guilty, Levi Weeks had a reputation that was more shattered than autumn leaves underfoot. He packed his bags and left town to start fresh, while Croucher's story took a different turn, straight to execution for another crime. Well, that escalated quickly. Joey's addiction strained their relationship, turning constant arguments into an Olympic sport. They hung in there for the kid's sake, hoping for a turnaround, but the reality was like watching a slow-motion train wreck, inevitable and painful. Tracy's abduction and murder showcased just how extreme unresolved domestic violence can be, leaving her family grappling with grief like a puzzle with missing pieces. The motivations of her attackers remain a mystery as baffling as trying to solve a Rubik's Cube in the dark. But in a shocking twist, Tracy crawled to safety despite catastrophic injuries. Talk about a comeback. Her sheer will to survive highlighted the boundless strength of the human spirit. If that isn't hope in action, I don't know what is. The long drive to family gatherings isn't just about holiday cheer. It's often filled with challenges from traffic jams to unpredictable weather. Who knew a trip to grandma's could rival a road trip movie with all the drama and mishaps? Witnessing a tragic accident can hit hard and shift your outlook on life faster than a toddler on a sugar rush. It's those gut-wrenching moments that remind us to appreciate loved ones and maybe drive a little more safely, because we don't want to be that guy. The narrator's reflections on family during the holidays really highlight how tragic events stack on emotions like layers of cake. Those experiences make us hug our loved ones tighter, wishing we could turn back time, like a bad movie plot twist. Looking back, the narrator recalls a time of losing a patient, emphasizing the painful trauma associated with such moments. It's like carrying a weight in your heart that never quite goes away, marking them forever. A childhood incident involving a car accident starkly brings life's harsh realities into focus. The narrator's haunting memory of the victims feels like a poignant reminder that life can change in the blink of an eye, reminding us all to drive carefully. There's no rewind button on that journey. A volunteer gig at a homeless shelter introduced unsettling encounters that had the narrator second-guessing their safety. When a past harasser showed up at a family gathering, let's just say it wasn't the feel-good moment everyone hopes for during the holidays. The woman's initial reaction to receiving an unmarked gift was a delightful mix of fear and uncertainty. It's like opening a mystery box without the fun of a prize inside, just escalating the anxiety instead. As more gifts arrived, the woman's proactive measures, like installing a Ring doorbell, turned her into a modern-day detective. Nothing screams resilience like turning your home into a mini Fort Knox in the face of fear, am I right? And then came the shocking climax when a severed body part was sent as a gift. Talk about taking gift-giving to a whole new level, definitely a one-way ticket to the front lines of a thriller. This moment marked a major turning point, making anyone question their gift list. In a moment of desperation, our narrator called her dad for help, highlighting just how vital it is to reach out when facing danger. When it comes to parental protection, nothing beats a dad who drops everything faster than you can say chocolate chip cookies. The man displayed some seriously obsessive behavior, claiming to have loved the narrator since childhood. His unsettling actions escalated quickly, like rocket fuel for a bad rom-com gone wrong. But here's where things took a serious turn. The police response was about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Their negligence stood out like a sore thumb compared to her father's lightning-fast arrival to protect his daughter from harm. The narrator's close call with an attempted break-in screams Home Alone, but without the cute kid and clever traps. This highlights just how crucial home security is. Locking doors and windows should be as routine as brushing your teeth. Then we have the cooking accident that serves as a reminder that the kitchen can be just as dangerous as a battlefield, especially when you forget the safety precautions. Having someone nearby to assist could mean the difference between a gourmet meal and a fiery disaster. The narrator's recovery journey in the hospital showcases the uphill battle faced by burn victims. It's like a roller coaster ride through emotional and physical challenges, where supportive individuals can turn the ride from terrifying to bearable, reminding us all about the strength of compassion. As Chad's behavior spiraled out of control, red flags were popping up everywhere, like confetti at a party gone wrong. The narrator's instincts screamed caution, even if their previous camaraderie seemed like a distant memory. Michelle, the narrator's boss, became a shining beacon by responding to the distress call. Because when push comes to shove, It's always great to have someone like Michelle in your corner, a real-life superhero in an office suit. The situation escalated into chaos, demonstrating how unpredictable people can be during social outings. Just goes to show you, being aware of your surroundings can save you from dangerous encounters. Who knew that socializing could require a safety manual? The importance of community shone through when a group of strangers intervened to protect the protagonist and their friend. Talk about feeling like you're in a movie where the side characters become heroes. Community spirit to the rescue. Looking back, our protagonist expressed regret over their initial reaction to the threat. Their youth might have contributed to their inaction. Let's face it, nothing prepares you to deal with danger when you're still figuring out the right way to tie your shoes. This story highlights the psychological toll of traumatic experiences, with the protagonist battling fear and anxiety long after the incident. It's like a shadow that follows you around. Kind of like that one friend who always wants to borrow money. Finally, life as a mall security worker usually involves little more than watching people walk by and making a little dough. But this holiday season threw enough curveballs to make a professional baseball player jealous. Unexpected challenges had them on high alert. While making his rounds, the narrator encountered an open door leading to a deserted section of the mall. Curiosity turned to fear quicker than you can say, "What's lurking in the shadows?" Watching a scary movie prepares you for situations like these, doesn't it? Then there was the shuffling man in a clown mask, humming like he was auditioning for a horror film. And just when you thought you'd seen it all, as the protocol kicked in, police were called to handle this big top issue. And if that wasn't enough, the narrator was later shocked to find the same strange man at his home. Cue the scary movie music. The sense of fear and unpredictability surrounding the holiday season was off the charts. It was like living in a thriller. Things escalated when the intruder broke a window, prompting a swift response from the narrator's husband and the police.
Safety first, people.
This highlights the urgency of home safety. It's always better to have the doors locked and the windows closed. After the dust settled, a chilling note found outside seemed to mock the earlier situation. Talk about adding insult to injury. This eerie twist turned an already frightening experience into a chilling saga to remember. Lastly, the narrative touches on the importance of vigilance when meeting strangers over transactions. The narrator's decision to bring a friend shows that teamwork is essential in uncertain situations, because no one wants to be the lone hero in a bad action movie. And let's not forget the allure of abandoned buildings, drawing explorers like moths to a flame. However, entering those hidden treasures can be risky, revealing dangers you don't see coming. It's like a game of hide and seek with possible hazards lurking around the corner. Urban exploration can lead to wild surprises, including the possibility of falling through unstable floors. This serves as a fantastic reminder that caution and awareness are key. Just because it looks interesting, doesn't mean it's safe. And let's not forget that moment of panic when encountering a swarm of spiders during your grand exploration. Nothing says adventure quite like finding out you're not the only one who decided to check out the place. Cue the squeals and the mad dash for safety.